hammer home the point. You know, I go to the gym now. I talk to some guys there. I'm a health safety manager on my job, so I feel like, hey, I can't be a hypocrite anymore. You know, I've been armed with knowledge that I have to share. Just meeting you guys, Mindy, and I got to spread that word, especially to me in my demographic. And they're listening. I mean, they're in awe. Like, what? Really? Yeah. So real simple words I call the DEA: diet, exercise, and awareness. That's how to prevent reoccurrence. And you keep those three things in mind, that I'm gonna never forget what happened to me, and what haunts me is I don't want it to come back. I got to give myself a fighting shot.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And thank you. And I wrote down what you said: DENA, diet, exercise, and awareness. So
yes.
Thank you. And Mindy, would you like to share any other prevention tips in addition to what Jason has shared with us?
I love what Jason is sharing, because he's so right on. And I know for a fact, because we've had many conversations between the two of us, that he's also feeling better. So, if you think of nutrition as not just, food so you can, move about throughout the day. Yes, food is energy, but food is really primarily for recover and for repair. And that's why we eliminate, we sweat, we eliminate. It's because we're eliminating toxins and dead cells and all kinds of things that our body needs to get rid of. So, but we can only do that if we eat well. And so it's whatever comes in must also go out. But in between, it's got to repair and recover the body. So what he's doing is so right on. And we have an initiative called the Fight Right Initiative. And there's 3 components. And it's nourish, move, and breathe. So it's exactly what Jason's doing. He's changing his diet. He's moving a whole lot more, and then breathing. And that's probably that third aspect that I will bring in. And that's because it's so connected to stress reduction. And stress is a chronic condition. Chronic stress can be a condition that creates inflammation throughout the whole entire body. And it truly is the foundation of not just cancer, but we're talking diabetes, we're talking heart disease, arthritis, autoimmune disorders. So chronic stress, especially after the 2020 pandemic, I think 99% of all of us are experiencing that. And it can easily be reduced by just the breath. And so through our organization, we talk about the breath, and we talk about, it sounds so weird, but correct ways to breathe, to bring down that heart rate, right? And to actually bring more oxygen into the cells, which help them replicate in a really healthy way, to prevent all kinds of inflammation and other diseases. So Jason's right on. Yes, it's nourishment, it's movement, but it's also calming the systems down and reducing our stress.
I like to add a little nugget to that.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned it before. One positive things that came from my diagnosis, I'm off. I was a type 2 diabetic. I'm no longer that. My A1C was 11 in around October, November when I got diagnosed. Went to follow up with my doctor in March. It came all the way down to a 6. So took me off my diabetic, all those medications. I'm saving money in pocket. I'm working on that, getting off the blood pressure medications. And I was amazed the other day. I had after a workout. I said, okay, my blood pressure got to be sky high. All right, I checked my blood pressure after the workout. It's the lowest it's been in years. You would think, okay, you get the heart rate going and moving. Okay, it's gonna make my blood pressure go to the roof. No, my body's like, okay, this is what I want, guys.
That's awesome. No, that's exciting.
And I will add exactly to what Jason's saying, and what he's actually physically experiencing, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. It's because it's all connected, so it's not like, nourishment just helps, bring oxygen to the cells, and breath work helps bring oxygen to the cells, and movement moves, makes your muscles stronger. It's all connected. So the exercise brings down stress. Good nutrition brings down stress. Breathing brings down stress. Breathing helps you actually assimilate all your nutrients in your body. It's all connected. So it's really cool that even just with diet and exercise, your stress levels will come down, Then we start working on other ways to become more mindful as well. So it's just, I just love Jason's story, because it's just right on in regards to what has to happen to, to defeat cancer and then live a very healthy, high quality life.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I thank both of you for sharing those experiences and Jason's example.
Yeah.
And I kept hearing stress as well. And we've heard stress with other diseases and disorders and conditions. So it's very helpful to hear how you just shared how everything works together to help.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you maybe one more question, and then I'm really going to ask the two of you to let us know, is there anything else you want to cover that we didn't talk about yet that you want us to know? So,
Yes.
So just before we go there, Jason, my final question will be, what has changed recently about colorectal cancer? And I'm hearing in the news about screening ages, but I wanted to know, I want to open it up for both of you to share with us that we might not be aware of. What are some recent changes? And then I'll turn it over to you.
For me, back 5 years ago, I remember my wife did the bowel prep stuff, and she had all this big, huge gallon of water. She was drinking it all day, and I'm watching her. Right, I'm like, there's no way I'm ever going to do this. So when I got diagnosed, I'm thinking, okay, I got to drink all this crap. Then I find out, hey, they give me this little packet and said, pour this in a Gatorade bottle, and you're done. Mm-hmm. And I drunk about what it says, a 14-ounce Gatorade or something like that. Playing PlayStation, YouTube videos, went to the bathroom like twice, and I slept all night. Easy.
Yep.
Nowhere near what my wife went through.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Yep.
So I was in the bowel prep. It's, and a lot of people right now probably had seen people years ago do the prep, and that's what's scaring folks. And I want to tell you that those days are over with.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And I will, just to follow up behind what you just mentioned, is it sounds like you said you can ask for a different type of prep. So your doctor gave you a different type of prep. There's options, not just the one that your wife used, but the one you used was a different option.
Yeah.
So just ask your doctor about different options.
Goes back to holding doctors. You got to agree with your doctor. That's what they're there for. You have to hold them accountable. You have to ask questions. You have to be informed. And once I learned about doctors, once they see that you're engaged, they're going to give you top-notch care. They're not just going to rush you out the door and get to the next guy. They're going to know that you're going to hold them accountable, so they're going to be on their game.
That's perfect.
Like I said, don't let them just touch your neck, bump your knee. Hold them accountable.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Oh, perfect. And Mindy, is there any other changes that we need to know about also?
Yeah, I mean, Jason, thank you so much for sharing that experience, because you're totally right on. You just have to ask, if you're handed the prescription for Go Lightly, and ask, well, I understand there's other low volume preps on the market. You're absolutely right. And you're right as well, Kaisha, that the screening rate has dropped. However, within the Black community, the screening rate is 45, and it's been 45. So we don't say screen at 45, we say screen by 45, because that's no longer the date to start thinking about it. That's the deadline. The deadline is 45. You must screen earlier if you have a family history or if you're having symptoms. So the deadline's 45. That's not when you start thinking about it. So I want people to kind of change that mindset just a little bit. The screening age has dropped to 45 for everybody though now. The United States Preventative Services Task Force has drafted recommendations for everybody to be screened by 45. They will confirm that this summer. The insurance companies most insurance companies follow what the United States Preventative Services Task Force recommends. So that's why that's important. The American Cancer Society did drop the age to 45 for everybody 2 years ago, but insurance companies don't follow that. So we had a little problem. For many people who wanted to get screened at age 47 or 48, but their insurance wasn't covering it yet, which is a big deal. So there's a lot of things going on with the lawmakers in the state of Virginia to make sure that everybody can be screened at age 45. However, in the African American community, please begin screening, by 45, not at 45. And then at the same time, I just want to remind you all that the diagnosis of colorectal cancer is rising sharply in the young population. That means if you're born after 1990, you're 4 times more likely to be diagnosed with rectal cancer and 2 times more likely to be diagnosed with colon cancer. So we're seeing a lot, even our own organization is seeing a lot of 20s and 30 somethings coming down with late stage disease. So I following up as I end here, following up with what Jason said, be proactive with your doctor. And if you're not happy with what one doctor said, get a second opinion. And that's not us stating this. We sit on a lot of task force with other medical advisors throughout the state, through Kaiser, Inova, VCU. These are the doctors stating that. The doctors are actually saying that about their own medical practices. If you're not happy with what you're getting, then go get a second opinion, get a follow-up. And that's coming from the medical profession themselves. So Jason's spot on with that. You must be proactive with your health.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Both of your updates was very helpful. I know just for me personally, hearing, the age change, being 45, like you made a very point to say by 45 in the African-American community, 45 for everyone. And I don't think that message is being shared as loudly in different circles. So my hope is by our discussion and sharing it out even more, that people will start to hear that 45, by 45 in the African-American community, 45 for everyone. And I was shocked to hear the statistics you just shared about people born 1990 and after, their sharp increase. So prevention is so important, and awareness. So I just want to thank you again for sharing that with us. So I'm going to really close out with my questions, and I want to ask the two of you, if there's anything else you want to share with us, I want to give you this time to do that. So I'm going to pause now.
I've got one thing, and then I'm going to let Jason finish this up. Be extremely proactive, be aware of what's going on in the bathroom. But again, 45 is the deadline. That's the deadline. It's not when you start thinking about screening. Those are the three things that I am really going to share with you all today. Yeah. Jason?
My biggest thing is, because I'm going off my experience here. When I first found out I was diagnosed, I think it's important that anybody out there, if you get diagnosed, don't panic. But I will tell you this: seek mental guidance from organizations. Family counseling, because as I go back to that day, my wife was strong, my kids were strong, but deep inside, I know mentally they were scared as hell, because I was. And I think back now, I'm like, I wish that we had somebody to tell us we had hope. I didn't have that. And it was taxing until I found out everything I did is the process that you go through. I barely had stage 1. But still, all you're told is by doctors, you have cancer. And you have to go home and deal with that. Your spouse is being supportive, but deep down inside, I know she told me she had times where she would get to herself and she would just cry, because we didn't know beyond what I was told until we went through all the tests. And my whole family was affected. They were strong in my face, but I knew. So I would say, seek some mental counseling, family counseling together, or reach out to organizations such as this. Yeah. And even myself, I'll be there to help.
Perfect. That's perfect. And I'm glad you shared the impact to the family and to yourself. So I just want to thank the two of you for joining us today. Mindy's organization, I will have a link to that organization on our website so we can continually stay in touch with you. At different times, we'll have highlights from your organization. Mindy and Jason both share that they are available also for questions. So I'll have their contact information. I'll share that out on the website and throughout. So once again, we're very happy to have you come here to share more insight to us about prevention and awareness for colorectal cancer. And we're just very happy to have this additional information. And we want to stay connected with you. So we look forward to reconnecting with you in the future. And we just want to thank you for what you're doing to help increase this awareness in our communities.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And we couldn't do it without Jason and without you as well, Kaisha. I mean, we can't do it alone, right? So just been an honor. It's been an honor to be a part of all this. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.